Did you know the average American will spend over $2 million in their lifetime chasing what we call the American dream? Yeah, 2 million. That's not a typo. And get this, most people will die still owing a third of it. We're all out here busting our butts for this invisible finish line that keeps moving further away. Your parents probably hit all these milestones by 30. Meanwhile, you're 35 wondering why your college degree costs as much as your parents' first house did. Something's not adding up, and today, we're putting the American dream under the microscope. Not the glossy Instagram version, the real, raw, sometimes ugly truth about what it costs in 2025. And spoiler alert, it's not just about the money. So let's break down this American dream thing, because, honestly, I feel like we're all chasing something without really knowing what the hell it is anymore. Is it the house with the white picket fence? Financial freedom? Just straight-up survival at this point? Look, I get it. I fell for it too. The whole work hard, get good grades, go to college, land a great job, buy a house, have 2.5 kids formula. That's what success is supposed to look like, right? But who decided this? And more importantly, why are we still buying into it when the math just doesn't work anymore? Let me throw some numbers at you that'll make your stomach turn. In 1970, the median home price was about $23,000. Today, try $425,000. And no, wages haven't kept up, not even close. If they had, the average worker would be making about $95,000 a year instead of $58,000. But here's where it gets really twisted. The American dream isn't just expensive financially, it's costing us in ways we don't even talk about. Time, health, relationships, actual happiness, the stuff that actually matters. Let's start with education, the supposed golden ticket. The average student loan debt is now hovering around $38,000 per borrower. But that's just an average. I know people still paying off six figures in their 40s. And for what? A degree that might or might not actually help you land a job that pays enough to cover those loan payments. Entry-level position, 5 years experience required, master's degree preferred, $42,000 starting salary. Make it make sense, people. And this is just the beginning of the financial obstacle course. After college comes the real fun part. Take housing. Our parents' generation could buy a home for about twice their annual income. Today, it's more like 5 to 7 times. In places like San Francisco or New York, try 12 times your annual income. And that's if you somehow manage to save for a down payment while paying rent that eats half your paycheck. $2,800 for a studio apartment? Does it come with a personal chef and daily massages? Spoiler, it doesn't. Then there's healthcare, the silent dream killer that nobody talks about enough. The average American family spends over $22,000 annually on health insurance and medical expenses. That's almost $2,000 a month just to not die if something goes wrong. And even with insurance, one serious illness can still bankrupt you. $629 for hospital socks? Were they woven by unicorns using golden thread? But here's the part of the American dream that's really getting out of control: having kids. If you're thinking about starting a family, I hope you've been saving since kindergarten. Childcare costs have risen 214% since 1990, with the average family spending about $16,000 a year per child. In major cities, try $25,000 per year, per kid. That's more than in-state college tuition in most states. I'm literally working to pay someone else to raise my kid so I can work to pay someone else to raise my kid. It's like some bizarre financial Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. Then there's the hidden costs, the stuff we don't put dollar signs on but pay for heavily nonetheless. Americans work longer hours than almost any other developed nation. The average full-time employee clocks about 47 hours a week. That's almost a full extra day compared to the standard 40-hour work week. And that doesn't count the time spent answering emails at 10 p.m., the quick calls on weekends, or the vacation days we're too afraid to take. just enjoying some relaxing Work-Cation time. The result? We're stressed, exhausted, and disconnected. About 40% of Americans report lying awake at night worrying about money. Over half say they've missed important life events because of work. And don't even get me started on what it's doing to our physical health. Your blood pressure is concerning. Have you been under stress lately? No, I just really enjoy working 60 hours a week while raising kids and trying to pay off a mortgage that's twice what my parents paid. But here's the kicker. After all this struggle, after all this sacrifice, what's waiting at the finish line? A comfortable retirement? Think again. 1 in 3 Americans has less than $5,000 saved for retirement. The median retirement savings for Americans in their 60s is about $172,000. Sounds like a lot until you realize that's supposed to last 20+ years. Do the math, it's not pretty. So we work ourselves to death for a retirement we can't afford, sacrificing our health and relationships along the way. And we call this the American dream? Look, I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom here, but we need to have an honest conversation about what's happening. The game has changed, but we're still playing by the old rules. First, we need to redefine what success actually means. The traditional American dream was created in a different economic reality. It's time for an upgrade. Some people are opting out of the traditional path entirely, living in tiny homes, embracing minimalism, choosing careers based on fulfillment rather than just salary, prioritizing time over money. Others are getting creative house hacking, side hustles, remote work from lower-cost areas, moving abroad where the cost of living is lower, but quality of life is higher. My rent in Bali is $400 a month for a place that would cost $3,000 in San Diego. And look at my office view. But individual solutions can only go so far. The real change needs to happen at a systemic level. Countries like Denmark, Finland, and Norway have figured out how to provide their citizens with healthcare, education, childcare, and retirement security without bankrupting them. They still have market economies, but they've decided that certain things shouldn't come with financial ruin attached. But we do need to ask ourselves some hard questions, like why the richest country in the world has so many people who are one emergency away from financial catastrophe. Or why we've normalized working ourselves to death for a lifestyle our parents achieved with a single income and a high school diploma. Maybe the real American dream isn't about checking boxes or accumulating stuff. Maybe it's about having the freedom to define success on your own terms, having enough without having to sacrifice everything else that matters. For me, it's having time to coach my kids' soccer team. It's being able to take care of my parents as they get older. It's doing work that actually matters to me, even if it doesn't make me rich. It's knowing that one medical emergency won't bankrupt my family. It's having the freedom to change careers at 40 without going broke. Look, I don't have all the answers, but I do know that something's gotta give. The gap between what we're told to strive for and what's actually achievable is getting wider by the day. So maybe it's time to reimagine the dream altogether, to build something new that works for the reality we actually live in, not the one our parents lived in 50 years ago. Because the truth is, the American dream as we've known it isn't just expensive, for many people it's impossible. And no amount of hustle culture, productivity hacks, or avocado toast abstinence is going to change that. What if we measured success not by what we own, but by how we live? What if we prioritized time wealth over financial wealth? What if we built communities instead of just accumulating assets? I don't know about you, but that sounds like a dream worth pursuing. The real cost of the American dream isn't just financial, it's everything we sacrifice while chasing it. And maybe the biggest cost of all is failing to ask whether it's still a dream worth having. So I'll leave you with this question: what's your version of the dream? Not your parents' version, not Instagram's version, but yours. Drop it in the comments below and let's start building something better together. If this video hit home for you, hit that subscribe button and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Let's get this conversation going. Because the American dream might be on life support, but we're not ready to pull the plug just